Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Dinosaur and the Dude, the only podcast in the fucking world with the shittiest audio with the most amazing content. Love that you all are listening to us, and we really appreciate it. So sit back and relax as we start this episode. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. As with some other episodes we've done this season, we're not going to have any promos this episode because we just want to give as much room as possible to our guests today. That's right, we have guests on this episode. And so for that, we'd like to keep it as clean as possible with promos so there's no affiliation or suggestion of affiliation by way of any sponsors that we have with those that we have as guests. It's just a way of transparency and just making sure there's no confusion. So enjoy this episode. Really appreciate it that you guys have been listening and hope that you have continuous listening and growth. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. We'll probably have a special edition, a special version, I should say, of this episode on YouTube, unlike other platforms. So feel free to check it out over there. All right, enough of me. Now into the episode. And once again, thanks everybody for joining us for another amazing episode of The Dinosaur and the Dude. If you don't know, now you know. She's the dinosaur.
That's me.
And I'm the dude. I'm the dude, and by the end of it, it'll be the fucking dude because I'll be that obnoxious. But we also have two amazing guests that we're going to get into this topic that we've been talking about in previous episodes. So we figured we'd get people that really know what the hell they're talking about. So we have the one and only Calamity Gal and also the one and only Maniac GECKO. Thank you for joining us. Hey.
Yeah, thanks for hopping in.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. I don't know about the expert part, but I'm happy to be here.
You know you are. You're a freaking sweat.
Just take it. Just take it.
Just take it. Yeah. Just now that your pants are off, just take it already. Damn.
Whoa, hey.
And you go into so you're that person that goes into the place and they get 5 pancakes. No, I ordered 4 pancakes. I really don't know about this 5th one. I need
you to take it back?
Just take it. Just take that pancake. Put it in your pocket for later.
Okay, all right.
All right, there you go. So right here, we're going to insert the disclaimer because aside from the two of them, the dinosaur and I really don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We really have no clue. So
pretty much like a rabid shit show.
Yep. So here we go. Okay, everyone, before we get started into this episode, whatever we might be talking about might be triggering. So here's the warning. Just be mindful of what we are saying is definitely something that we're not trying to trigger you on, but just some of the topics might be a little iffy in regards to, yeah, exactly. That's the word I was trying to say.
Fragile, delicate.
Yeah. And we're not saying that you are. It's just that some of the content might trigger somebody in a certain way.
It's offensive.
We talk about different things that happen to people that could be assaults or somebody could be killed or changed.
We do try to give trigger warnings though, so I'll give you the quick disclaimer.
Yeah. So here's you all listen to her. The dinosaur is going to go over the disclaimer because I can't, because I don't give a fuck. She cares way more. She cares way more than I do, even though she'll say the opposite. So you all listen to the disclaimer. It's here for your benefit. Here's the dinosaur. Also, everything that we're saying in our episodes, unless we state otherwise, is all for entertainment. And there's no there's nothing that we're giving away as advice or of a matter of fact that you should go out in the world and do your own thing. We're basically saying we're not responsible for whatever fuck ups you experience after listening to us and trying to do whatever the fuck we're talking about. That's on you. Okay. All right. No, she'll finish out the rest of the disclaimer.
We don't know shit, and we don't try to say that we know shit. We like the internet, and it likes us, so we play together sometimes. But don't take anything that we say to heart. Don't take it as the gospel. Don't take it as an expert of any kind, because we don't know shit. We just like to hang out and with y'all and talk about goofy shit or funny shit or scary shit or real shit or whatever shit. And
It's just all shit. Yeah.
it's all shit with the audio shit, you know? So, I mean, that's pretty much, that's our moniker.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we know that we're going to offend you, so we get that. At some point we will offend somebody. And if we do, we're sorry. Find another podcast. Not that we don't want you here. It's just that if we're going to be in the habit of offending you, then we don't want to hurt your feelings. So, but if you're not 18, please don't listen to this. And I think that might be it.
All right, so let's get into it.
Okay.
As we
Did you
usually
like that?
do.
How we just time skipped?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We've discovered wormholes, I think, is what happens.
It's magic. It's magic. So we do
What's
this
the
thing in
topic
the beginning.
today?
Well, it's gaming. Yeah, we talked about it in a couple of episodes where I've referred to the gaming experiences that I've had and how I feel about it in regards to society and players and people that do and don't play. And then I don't know. I think at the end of the last episode, we're like, we should get some on, and that snowball ended up to an actual episode.
Yeah, now we're getting it on.
Yeah. So before every episode, we do a wellness check. The two of you being new to this episode, you can join in or not. But I usually ask Dinosaur how she's doing and if anything she wanted to talk about, and then she does the same thing, and then we move on to talking about aliens and UFOs and
Mostly,
people.
Conspiracy shit, conspiratorial.
Crimes and whatnot. So I'll go ahead and start. All right, you got anything to talk about, say, or anything wellness wise? Yeah.
You said I'm going to start, and then you asked me.
Yeah.
So I got confused.
By asking you.
Oh, right. Okay, so, no, I mean, I'm just. My elder is alive. I think she's doing good.
No,
so
that's what
good.
I say.
Because we also do an elder check. We
I
both take care of our parents. So,
right.
But yeah, she's doing fine, and it's been just crazy week.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty boring.
Okay, cool. Well,
what about you?
Here we go.
Oh, Canada Dry.
Yeah, we got to get the Canada Dry. Sponsor, not sponsor.
You're right. Hey, Maniac, do they call it America Dry?
What is it? Is it like a ginger ale?
Yeah.
No, it's still Canada Dry.
It is? Okay, dang it. I always thought that like Canadian bacon.
Yeah, we just straight up bacon.
Like, do they call it American bacon?
No, they probably just call it bacon.
Sometimes it's bacon, sometimes it's pea meal bacon.
Pea meal?
Yeah. Very rarely will we call it actually Canadian bacon unless we're poking fun at ourselves.
Yeah, pea meal bacon. Wow. I mean, I just thought ginger ale be ginger ale. It wouldn't say Canada Dry. But yeah, that's my vice, Canada Dry. I pop it open when I'm ready to discuss.
You're such a rebel.
I know, yeah. I know. And I sip it.
My vice is gummies.
Yeah. So, all right. Had an awesome experience at the ER, and I learned something new, so I figured I'd go ahead and share it in case somebody else is listening to the episode and they're like, oh shit, I didn't know that shit. Because it's a thing. It's called okay, great, I'm about to fuck it up. It's called carbon dioxide narcosis. Apparently, if you use a CPAP, this can happen, and depending on how frail you are, it can affect you in various ways. And basically, it kind of fucks up your brain process. It gives you puts you in this super cloudy state until it kind of sort of wears off. And so the longer you're off of it, the more intense it could possibly get. But once you get back onto sleeping with one, it kind of regulates and evens out, and then you're
So,
back to
how long was he affected? This happened to your dad last night. How long was he
yeah.
affected by it?
So he was off for like two nights, and then which I already knew he usually gets kind of cloudy when he's off. Like, if he's off for a few hours or a night or so, he's pretty out of it or cloudy the next day. But we've never done 2 nights, and so that's where things got extra special the next day, and he decided to start responding to questions with popping sounds. So, like,
Interesting.
yeah,
You couldn't talk,
mouth,
right?
With his mouth, he was like, go, like, okay, great.
Morse code. Do you know Morse code? Is that what was happening?
No.
Did you check? I mean, you don't know.
No, okay. I'm just like, okay. So that's what it basically amounted to, because they ran everything and it was all normal. It was just a matter of, he's got to just get back into the swing of using it. And then sure enough, this morning he's back to his leave me the fuck alone kind of state of mind. So they're like, okay, patient is A-okay. All right, everybody back to normal. So yeah, if you happen to have, you're out there and you're listening, one of you 18 people on YouTube or 10 people 10 people on Spotify. If you happen to have CPAP, might not affect you if you're not elderly, but if you happen to have an elderly person that's doing it, make sure you brush up on your understanding of carbon dioxide narcosis, because it's a fucker. I hope I used all the medical terms correctly. In any case,
yeah, I think that's Latin.
Yeah, I think that sums it up as a fucker. It's in a medical journal somewhere. I'm sure it's in there. It's a fucker. Okay, so let's get to the topic at hand. Background: I've played games for years, and I've gotten to the point where I have beta tested more games than I have played, consistently. And I get to the point where I just started playing one game consistently, because I used to do multiples, and I was like, wow, how the fuck can I keep up with any of this? But I know some people that do. And whether it's first-person shooters or MMOs or, any kind of PvPs or pugs or something like that,
What's a pug?
It's a pickup game.
Oh, okay. So, and then will y'all, whenever you're introducing yourself and all that good stuff, will you say like what kind of games what kind of games you like, and then what if you want to share your gamer tag, then please do, because then that's a great way for y'all to meet new people and play with different people. Right.
So, because I didn't want it to be to where it was just all about my experience, and we wanted to find other people and just talk about the community and the games and what's your perspectives on that, especially with some of the topics. So we'll throw out some topics, and we could just
freeball it
down whatever the rabbit holes that come into play with that. So yes, please, at this time, please introduce yourselves, starting with you, Calamity. Go.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. I've been playing games since I was, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. I play games, anything from first-person shooter to I play a PGA Masters game. There's Diablo 4.
Yep.
I got really into the Division series, so Division 1 and 2. But Division 1, I really only play survival. I played Conan for a while and a lot of Call of Duty stuff. I really like first-person shooter stuff. But I met playing Vigor, which is a free game on Xbox Game Pass. Oh. And so we really tear it up in there. Really enjoy it.
Cool. All right, Maniac.
All right. Let's see. I've been gaming for probably over 3 decades now at this point.
Okay.
Wow, man, you invented it. Jesus.
Okay, I'm not
Good for
that
you.
old. Jeez. Well, I remember my folks' first computer. It was running just DOS, and they had a few games.
Right, same.
It's been quite an adventure since then. Well, a lot of first-person shooter, a lot of the Call of Duty games, Halo. That was a big. I'll be honest, GoldenEye was what kind of got me into the whole franchise on the Nintendo 64. But again,
GoldenEye. I'm looking this one up.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yeah, game's fun.
No, I don't play games. I'm allergic.
Yeah.
I start
Yeah.
convulsing, and then like the controller will fly across the room because I get scared if somebody pops out at me. So that's how. I mean, there's not enough gummies in this world to make it okay for me to play a game because I'll be screaming.
Okay.
Again, like I said, Vigor. I've been playing a lot of that, and that's how I met Calamity. And I'll be honest, some of my favorite ones are like the Bethesda ones, like the Fallout series, the Elder Scrolls series. I've lost track of how many hours I put into those games.
Right. Yeah, and that's all I play is Elder Scrolls Online. At this point, that's all I do.
Okay.
So, dude, you're more into like fantasy, kind of whimsical, mystical kind of thing,
right now.
And then, Calam, do you like more like military style, or because I think I know Vigor is. I mean, it's kind of that way, but it's more cartoony than Call of Duty. And please understand, y'all, I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. So if I'm saying it wrong, just take that for whatever it's worth.
Vigor's like Escape from Tarkov, which was a PC game that's still very popular. It's not cartoony like Fortnite, which I play that sometimes, but that's cartoony. But it is more of a tactical, strategical, post-apocalyptic type deal. But it's all PvP. Whereas like Division, you can play PvE, which is you're not playing player versus player. You're playing bots or you're trying to complete missions, things like that. Vigor doesn't have missions to complete, but it does have a lot of different, I don't know what you would call them, GECKO. It's like different things that you can acquire. You have to build up your shelter and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. There's little challenges as well that give you bonuses if you complete them.
Okay.
So, Maniac, do you have a preference? Like I was saying, the minus whatever. Do you have one where like you prefer first-person shooters or fantasy or the like, or does it really come down to whatever you're into at the moment? You move from one to the other. Gameplay has to be a certain, to a certain level.
I'm pretty fluid when it comes to the games that I will play. Generally, if I'm playing on a console, it's usually first-person shooters or, like I said, the Fallout, Skyrim, the big world games where you're running around doing different stuff. I've got my PC fired up. Now, this is a lot of nostalgia kicking in. I tend to play real-time strategy or RTS games, and I lean towards the older ones, like the original Age of Empires and games like that. I guess it's because it's a throwback to my childhood, but it's just a lot easier to play those on the computer than it is on the console. I've tried playing them on the console, and I get more frustrated than anything, and I just like, no, I'm done. There's games I'm like partway through the third mission, and I'm like, I can't do this because it's just too frustrating with the controller.
Is it like that for most games where it's going to be easier on the computer than versus?
It's how it's played. So with the first person shooter, the way the controller's set up, I find is a lot easier to manipulate and work the system. Whereas with the computer, you've got access to the mouse and the keyboard, so you can hit fast commands for controlling different army units or activating different things. So it's, again, depending on the game is going to depend on what I'm playing it on.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Because like for instance, for me, I can't. It also depends on how I was introduced to the game. Like I can't ever think of how to play, for instance, Mario Kart without a controller. Whether it's on a computer or not. But at the same time, I've tried Like I've tried some first-person shooters that I started doing with a computer and then switched over and did it with a console, and I was like, oh, this is fucking bananas. I cannot. No. Where's my? I want to be able to move. I gotta convulse my hand to hit these two buttons to do. No. So I would always go back to the computer for that. So let's get to harder questions then. For me, it's always one of those where I get into a game and I'm in it because I'm wanting to explore certain parts of it, either gameplay or just ways that you configure different things, and just max out my own experience with the game. And I know that that's not something that other people are into. They're more into in-game, especially with Elder Scrolls and whatnot. They're more into that kind of thing, or they're solely into PvP. Do either of you, what's your experience with that in regards to some games people like to just jump right into PvP, but like Calamity was talking about, there's some games that's all they are is PvP. So if you're not into that, you wouldn't really be into playing that game anyway. So like you were saying a little bit earlier, Maniac, is it more fluid where you're like, I want to do PvP and this is what I want to play if I want to experience that? Or do you have it to where you just explore games fully?
If I want to do PvP, there are certain games that I'm going to choose to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's games that I just feel like world exploring, like any of the Elder Scrolls games, that's what I'm going to go do. If I want a hybrid of it, occasionally I'll pop in Fallout 76 because you can do both.
Gotcha.
But predominantly I'm going to be doing world exploring and doing my own thing. And I just get really annoyed when someone starts shooting at me because I want to do PvP, and I'm just, no, just go.
Right. Same for you, Calamity?
Yeah, it's interesting with like the Call of Duty games because a lot of people just really enjoy the campaign. I don't know that I've ever completed more than one campaign on the Call of Duty games. I've tried to get into it. I just never really got into it very much. I would just jump right into either the zombies map or the PvP. Mm-hmm. Now, the new zombies that they came out with is like an updated version of the DMZ maps from last Call of Duty, which was only PvP. Mm-hmm. But the new map that they have with the Call of Duty, it's the basic same premise, but you're fighting zombies and you can coordinate with other players instead of them trying to kill you. A lot of times they'll res you, or if you're down, they'll come and pick you back up. They'll help you out. They'll drop all kinds of schematics. It's just more of a helpful community. And I think that's cool that it's evolved to that.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing that a lot of gaming companies are starting to figure out. Like, they have to make it as versatile as possible. The first ones that I saw that really did a good job about it was Elder Scrolls Online, because it cut out that headache of servers, and it cut out the whole, I got to be on, wait. Okay, now I'm out of the queue. I'm actually getting to play. But it also broadened out the whole, you play how you want to play aspect of it. And then by that, kind of making a community as well for people that wanted to help each other. I think that's a good thing, because before all of that, in a lot of games, you had a lot of aggressive players. You still do, but you have a lot of aggressive or sweat players that kind of put a damper on the experience. Has either of you seen? Well, what's been your perspective of the evolution of that? Like, more, has things been really leaning more towards community focus, gameplay, and experiences?
Go ahead, GECKO.
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on which game, right?
Yeah. Can I answer from like a third party, just what I observe?
Sure.
Of course.
I think that whereas it used to be you go on, you play, and you get off, right? I mean, like you're tactical. It's there to get done or whatever mission, or get to the end or win it or whatever. But now as gaming has evolved, relationships are cultivated. And even though like Maniac and Calam, they've never met, they're still, they care about each other,
Yeah.
as humans. Right. So,
Right.
and they're like-minded in a lot of ways, and they are not toxic, and they're both advanced players, and, they just click in that way. So it's not only a place where you can go and just have fun nerding out on a game, but you also get to do it with other people, like-minded people who want to come in and enjoy that type of thing as well. So it's just a community now, instead of I'm a gamer and I just go on and play and then or I'll play forever, but just stay by myself.
Yeah,
this one is isolating. Would y'all agree to that?
Right. It's not an isolated event anymore. I feel like you get on to hang out with friends in the evening or afternoon, whenever you typically hang out with friends, or it has become more of for me personally, it has become more of, I guess, a hangout instead of just trying to complete a game. Whereas before it was more of, I want to have people to help me to complete this game. Now I just want to hang out with people while we're doing something fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, for me, I find that's a big plus, because sometimes I just I'm just really wanting to get on for, well, frankly, the escape, than to just come in, pedal down to the floor to, okay, let's go, let's get this going, let's go. Okay, we're gonna raid. You ready? You okay? Like, yo, just count me out. I'm just here. Like, I used to get on a friend of mine, because I used to play World of Warcraft for a good bit, and she would play also, but all she would do is fish. And
That's kind of something that I would do.
I know you did that before in another episode. You're like,
a fishing. I did a fishing thing. Clam helped me with it, and I was sucked at it terribly.
but there's fishing games.
I know, we were playing a fishing game.
No, she was playing a game where, like, you build up a character, you get gear and stuff
and
like
all she was doing is fishing.
Yeah, and then she would just
I do what the fuck I want to. That's what she's saying.
she would say, hey, come check out this fish I just caught. No, I'm good. I want to go do this. So she would invite me on. She was like, hey, I'm playing. You want to come on? I said, yeah, I'll get on. I'm logging on and stuff. I was like, hey, where you at? I'm getting all psyched. Where you at? I'm over here. Okay, check it out. All right, cool. Check this out. I'm about to try to get this big fish. You called me on here to tell me about this fucking fish? Yeah. You want to go in this dungeon? Oh no, I don't like playing dungeons. You want to go do this? You want to help me in this quest? Nah.
No, I'm not into manual labor.
Yeah, it's like, well,
I'm good.
Can I get lures and bait on the quest? No, you can't. No, that's not what I'm gonna pass. I just want to fish. It was like, how are you getting? And I guess that's the thing for me, because it's like, you got fishing games, but there are those games like, say, World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls and so on and so forth. They are subscription based, and she legit had a subscription just to fish. I was like, okay.
That's kind of awesome, and it leads me into a question that I want to get to later. Is like, I want to try to find a game for me, but I don't really know like what to look for, because I kind of just want to walk around a place and just explore.
Sims.
Yeah, there's that one. Yeah, there's that one. There's that other new one. I keep forgetting the name of it, where you play, you get in it. It's going to be a remedial description, but whatever. You get in a ship, you fly to a planet, and you explore that planet.
Yeah.
Is that
Star Citizen?
I was going to say, is that or No Man's Sky or something like that? And it's like so many. It's like a ridiculous amount of planets. Yeah. There's a ridiculous amount of planets on it. I forget the name.
No, yeah, Star Citizen is a huge one like that. It was Starfield that came out for the consoles, a year or so ago? And that was pretty popular.
Yeah.
But, Star Citizen has just a phenomenal amount of planets. I got kind of excited, but then I realized the processing power required. I'm like, I need a new computer, and then I want a new gaming chair, and then it's just
a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, because that's on top of
Okay.
all the things with gaming, you've got to get your setup to be just right. Otherwise, it kind of jacks with your gaming experience.
Yeah,
You got to get the chair. You got to
too.
yeah. You
Because
got to
I'm
get.
a little fella, so I now have to spend extra money to get the big boy chair. Like $250. I'm like, you jerks.
Right, right.
Right. Eat a biscuit already. Damn.
Yeah. So
I'm a little over 300, so I've eaten a fair number of biscuits.
I love biscuits.
But I'm
So,
also
I just
broad frame, so I'm filled out well. But
yeah.
the other downside to that is getting a headset, and Calamity can attest to this by telling me that I need to shove the microphone in my mouth because the headset is for a normal-sized head.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
pumpkin, but it's when I've got my headset on, and I mean, this wasn't a cheap headset either. I have to have the microphone almost actually in my mouth in order for it to be in a position where people can hear me. Because if I have it where everybody else has it in front, it doesn't go in front. It's off to the side.
Surprisingly, you don't sound that breathy, and you would think you would. And I'm like, dude, put it in your throat. I cannot hear you.
Yikes. That's uncomfortable.
Well, there you go.
My gag reflex. Yeah, no.
There you go. Very, very short instructions. Put it
Direct. I appreciate that.
Consoles were good. No.
Right.
Right.
So I get so. In regards to that, you know, like what Dinosaur was talking about a little earlier, people evolved even in gameplay as more and more as it becomes more and more social. You have relationships that develop through gaming with people that have never really seen each other, and maybe eventually they get around to doing that. What's either of your takes on that? Good, bad, and different, whatever floats people's boat, or make it easier.
I look at it as all positive in that, from my experience, because if it wasn't for games like this, I wouldn't have met Calamity. Ergo, I would not have had the pleasure of this podcast because I wouldn't have known about it because I wouldn't have been introduced to it. So it's I'm learning bits and pieces here because I'm stuck in my little corner of Canada, and you guys are all the way across the continent, kind of thing.
Right.
So it's very interesting because without, I'll say, vigor, this experience wouldn't be happening for me.
Right.
True.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's insightful. I dig that.
What were you saying, Calamity?
I was just agreeing. I think that is the beauty of it. I've made friends across the pond. There's people that I would have never had the opportunity to talk to or learn about their culture unless it was through, getting to game with them. I met somebody new that I invited to play today with that gave me some insight also about being a player and being a woman, that things that she goes through that I've never experienced, thank goodness. But it's different for every player, and it's interesting to get to hear people's stories and learn more about things that they're interested in and things that we have in common with each other that make us so much more connected than we are separate. And I think that's what we really need to walk away from with the community, is that we're so connected, but we don't really give each other a chance to see that. We're so distracted by our lives, by our busy schedules, that sometimes we become isolated inside our homes. Since COVID, that's been even more of a problem, and we've gotten comfortable with it. So sometimes this is the only outlet that people have to the outside world because they are stuck at their house. So I think that gaming is very important for a lot of people for many reasons.
Right. Perfect. Because that is exactly what I was wanting to get into next, is the whole... a lot of people that do not game, I'll just look at it that way, have the perspective of too much is a bad thing, and there isn't anything positive that comes out of gaming, finding all the negative things and attributing it to various whatever deficits that are in society, whether it's crime, violence, and the like. And that's been an old old punching bag that gaming has been for a lot of different reasons. For me, though, I wanted to know what's been the perspective of players, male, female, and all the in between, in regards to being able to escape out of what they deal with on a daily, and not have any of that going on in gaming, or if they do have it, it's of a different level. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not really wanting to hang out with you because you got shitty gear, or you can't shoot for shit, whatever. But the normal stuff that they would usually get downtrodden by, it's not there in a game when they're flying on a dragon over an ocean and blowing up ships.
That's what I want to do.
Is it? Yeah. Well, just pick your lane, ma'am. You went from fishing, now you're blowing up ships on a dragon. Okay.
Fair.
I
want to be cultured.
I don't know if we're going to be able to find a game that has those two. I want to fish while I'm on a dragon blowing up ships. Oh, okay, great. What do you?
For a developer out there, there's an idea.
Yeah, right. For sure. Like somebody's going. Okay.
Guaranteed one customer.
Yeah, pirate fisher. So what do you all take with that? Because I've experienced it where there has been it's been a transference of kind of sexual norms and discrimination in regards to women can't play games. I think at this particular point, people have found themselves to be horribly mistaken and schooled accordingly, and rightly so. Do you feel like that has finally been eradicated, or is there still some outliers out there that feel like there's still room to discriminate? I mean, yeah, there's still room to discriminate in some way or fashion, but let's start off with just gender and playability.
You want me to go first? I was kind of hoping to hear what GECKO had to say first.
No, you should take this one first because a little more poignant.
Well, for me, there have been times that I definitely felt discriminated against as far as being a woman. When I first started playing some of these really kind of male-dominated, toxic player versus player first-person shooter games, I would keep myself muted because I didn't want them to know that I was a female. I just wanted to be treated normally. I just wanted to be, part of the team. Let me play with you. I don't need to talk. And as time went on, I started playing with people regularly. I would unmute myself, but then there would be other players that would join the team or whatever, and I would kind of be shy to talk because I was like, oh, what the hell are they going to say, And it became kind of I don't know. I evolved to believe that, I have a right to play. I have a right to be here. I can participate and I can contribute just like any other player. So if you don't like me because I'm a female, well, fuck off. I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to play. And when I first started using my mic, the players that I was teaming up with, they were protective of me. So if somebody was being a jackass, they would come up and say, yo, man, I don't like how you're talking to her. You can get off our team. We don't care. You're not going to talk to her like that. She's our friend. And I kind of appreciated that in the beginning, but now I'm kind of like, you don't need to do that for me. I'm okay.
Right.
But I didn't, when I was talking to this new player today, she said that people are looking at her gamer picture and saying, oh, you're just a fat bitch. What are you doing playing? You need to go make a sandwich. Get off this game. You're just... What do you weigh? 500 pounds? Surely this is all you do all day. I bet you don't have a job. Stuff like that. And
my God,
I'm exaggerating because I don't want to say too much, but I'm saying it in a way that this is a type of mentality that I feel like we should be aware of. We cannot allow this kind of toxicity in our games.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
if you're hearing this, you need to shut it down, because sometimes it hurts people so deeply that they personally can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah.
And as a community, we should be protecting others.
So if you're in a game and either that happens to you or you either it happens to you or you witness it happening to somebody else, would it be appropriate to report that person right then so you could block them?
Well, you can block somebody and you report them. Now, reporting, I don't believe does any good. We report cheaters all the time, and I think that it's just like, okay, whatever.
Right.
But you can definitely block somebody, and I block people all the time. They send me stupid messages like bot or trash when I've killed them, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. You're not hurting my feelings. You're dead.
Well, like,
Enjoy being dead.
Go restart at the lobby. I don't care, but definitely block them. Don't allow them to keep sending you messages.
Were you saying, Maniac?
Well, I was just going to say, like, just before we got on here for this, we played a round of Vigor, and it just pure fluke. Out of the other team of 5, I happened to knock 4 of them in one go. And just before the start of the next round, one of their guys sent me a message, and it was, when I finally got around to looking at it, it was the dog emoji and then the shit emoji. Like, what? Really?
Super.
How old are you?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. They could be 8.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so for me, the dinosaur already knows. I don't give a shit if you're 8. I mean, look, if you're on here,
I'm gonna wreck.
Nope.
I think that is kind of sort of the leveling playing field that gaming also puts upon people, because age really has very little reference to capability. And what, if you're just getting just wiped every time, and it happens to be someone that is 9, okay, props to the skill. But I think to what we're talking about, though, is that interaction that you have with a person that is totally aside from skill, obviously, just not even giving props to that skill, and just going and attacking that person directly as a person, not as a character in a game. They're going for the person that, that's playing. They're going for the player itself. And like you, Calamity, oddly enough, when you said this, I was like, damn, okay. Because that was still to this day, that's me. I mute. And I very seldom have played a game where I've turned my mic on.
She used to be way more shy. But as her skill has gotten, more increased or more advanced, she's, and also knowing that there are other people out there, like she's meeting these women that play games, and it's empowering.
Sure.
It's empowering for somebody who's already outgoing like myself, but she's more of an introvert. She's kind of shy. And so, this is good stuff, This is letting her know that it's okay to be out there and fuck them, who gives a shit? It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game. There is, and especially in relation to the people that Calamity and Maniac are talking about in this point, these type of people, they take it to a personal level. Like they feel like that is the next step for them to go, and that's the one where I'm going to get them. I can't beat them skill wise, and so I'm going to degrade them in whatever way, or I'm going to talk about them in whatever way, or I'm just going to blast them with emojis because
that's pathetic, though.
It is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not, but it's like like what Calamity was saying earlier. Reporting them, I've reported people, and it's kind of like okay. If you see something, say something. Okay, I'm saying something. I'm reporting. Okay, well, do you have a screenshot of the full conversation? No, I can't. I'm playing. I don't.
I'm gaming, you twat.
I don't have time to stop and screenshot the diatribe this person is having right now. So I can. Let me All right, I'm going to insert that. Okay, I'm going to attach this photo. Okay, great. I can only do 3 attachments in-game mail. Okay, support, send. Okay, we'll review it in 72 hours and let you know. It's like, okay, fuck.
Right.
Great.
And then telephone tough guy, they will just always be there. It's nothing that we can do anything about. They have said that in like Call of Duty they're recording audio of conversations, but they're not going to do anything. I mean, that has always been our experience as gamers, that they say they have anti-cheats, but the cheats always have different developments going all the time to try to go against the anti-cheat programs. So just recently, I watched a guy on TikTok. He was live streaming and he was using Chronos. He was cheating actively. We were watching him live on Call of Duty, and he was like, I'm telling everybody I'm cheating. And you could see the blocks of where people are, what direction they're facing. And he's shooting them from across the map, actively cheating and saying he's cheating, like audio, everything. And was he kicked? No, he said, I'm playing every single mode right now. I'm going to play all of them today. And he wasn't kicked once.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I feel like, with gaming being an outlet that people can use to where they are just sort of like, you know what, all the bullshit that's going on right now, whether it's, the whole pandemic, if that incited people to really play games, inspired people to really play games at the time, or if it was just something they've always done, it's a very personal thing that someone is going about gaming. It's not always just a point and shoot. There's a little bit of something therapeutic going on sometimes, and maybe to a degree that's more so for some than others. But it just seems like some level of discrimination is always going on, and then the attacks go out to people in various ways. And rose-colored glasses, you're always hoping that the industry has a means of trying to figure out a way to do it. But like you were just saying, Calamity, figure out this one way. There's 2, 3, 12 more that now have developed that, okay, it's a hard way to play catch up on that.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the thing. It's always interesting for me to watch that go on. I feel like, though, there's different things that go on when you have those relationships that build, because you have people that are like-minded, don't put up with the bullshit like that, or don't even look at it. And they, there's a level of respect that goes on, and the gameplay becomes stronger between those people. Toxicity is going to be toxicity no matter what. And you can only dampen it for so much. Do you feel that the games are evolving, though? Do you feel like they feel that the thought is, if we build community, it diffuses it some?
I will say yes to that.
Agreed.
Even if it's more of an internal placebo effect of, okay, well, we're friends, we're doing this. Because I know when I turn on my Xbox or whatnot and I want to play a game, it's where was I going with that?
Happens to me all the time.
I haven't had a whole lot of caffeine today, and I'm not having it right now because it's too late.
Look at that responsible person. Oh my goodness. I'm like, let's have another gummy. Come on.
Yeah. No.
You can't. You don't do that though. I mean, I understand that.
Like, no.
I don't do that because I was lied to about edibles when I was half drunk, and that did not end well that night.
Man,
that sucks. I'm sorry for you.
People have that story way too much, and it sucks.
That's a shit trend right there.
Yeah, I wasn't told that it was an edible cake.
Yeah.
And
there you go. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, so you were saying though.
I'm drawing a blank. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, no. I was just more or less saying, like, with the industry trying to make and build more community-centric interactions.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that a way of diffusing toxicity, or like you were saying, which I really like
I think
your
the
term,
main.
but is it just a placebo?
Yeah. Well, it all depends on who you surround yourself with. I'm
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough that the
Preach.
people I game with are of a high quality person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have our shenanigans, but who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think that you're ever going to get rid of the toxicity in gaming
Mm-hmm.
because of the humanity aspect. And I say
Mm-hmm.
that with when I go on gaming, it's I don't want to say a stress relief. It's a way for me to unwind, for me to enjoy the end of my day. Like I've got two little ones that
Mm-hmm.
are not no one's a teenager yet, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but when they're in
You'll
bed,
live through it, though. I promise.
I hope so. I'm
It's
looking
gonna
at my
suck a bit, but yeah, you'll get through it.
my daughter's 9. I'm looking at buying body armor for when she turns 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that might help. She's
Wouldn't hurt.
feisty. But anyway, like I said, I know I hop on to unwind, to de stress, and I'm there to enjoy myself. But I know people that are going on there that they are so wound tight, you could shovel up a coal up their arse and 2 days later have a diamond. So
Right.
they're on there and they're spewing their toxicness because that's
Right.
the only way they know how to get rid of it. And I only really feel pity for them because that, in my opinion, is a terrible way to go about life.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you feel better is by trying to drag other people down. So when I'm getting hit with that, I'm trying
That's
to
very sweet.
realize how they are and go, all right, bud, like you can't offend me. Good luck.
Right. Right.
Many have
Have at
tried.
it, champ.
So it's the anonymity as well because
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
got because my real name in life is not Maniac Gecko.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Right.
Should be though. It should be. That'd be awesome.
that would lead to some interesting conversations.
Yeah.
But it's nobody's using their real name as a gamer tag. There's
Yeah.
no picture of them. It's the anonymity. So like, oh, I can't get in trouble if I call
Mm-hmm.
this person a flaming douche nozzle
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh.
try to attack them personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, okay, you can call me fat. I know I'm kind of on the heavy side, but I'm not
Kind of
really
chunky,
fat.
but that's okay. I love me, so
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very happy with who I am as a human
Mhm.
being. It's taken a long time to come to those terms.
preach, preach. Yes, I love that.
I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations as a human being, and I've
Me
come
too.
out better on the other side because I knew I needed to work on me.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people can't or won't.
Amen
And
to that. Yeah, for sure.
with them on a daily
Mhm.
basis, whether it's in gaming or in traffic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Or in traffic. Yeah.
Oh,
It does bleed over.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I lose it in traffic because holy shit! I please don't hit my car. It's
Mhm.
fully paid for. I don't need the premiums going up. Because
Right, fair.
But like I said, on gaming, it's coming across those toxic people, and like I said, I'm not seeing who it is. I don't go, oh, it's Billy Bob at 123 Fake Street
Right.
in Georgia, kind of thing. Like
Mhm.
it's. But I mean, even if it was, I don't even live in the States. I can't do shit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if someone's gaming here
Yeah.
in Canada, second largest country in the world, it's not like I can hop my car and go kick his ass if he lives in Calgary. That's like a 9-day drive from where I am.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nuts that it's that big. Okay, but that's
Yeah.
a whole other story.
Oh yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense because I think it can really affect people. The level of which can really affect people, and the person being affected could have the best intentions in the world, but the toxicity and the level of which it can reach someone can be very, very. It can be very, very detrimental. I mean, I think just a couple of days ago, I heard about Inquisitor and how that all happened and went down, and
The
so
what?
this this person, R.I.P. to them, they
OJ?
were no,
Okay.
this person actually, it was suicide from what I understand
Oh, unalived themselves?
because of the whole issue with getting harassed, bullied, and then these false accusations put upon them. And it was basically like just a continual ramping up of this type of behavior within gaming itself. And you don't know how it is that it's going to affect people. Now, on the flip side, this person is just having a great time. They are wanting to, do their thing and enjoy the game. And somehow, some way, people get, I don't know, the best way to say it is like jealous, or just have this desire to tear down someone's joy no matter what.
Some people can't stand another person to be happy.
Oh no, you're right. I mean, and like this person, it's, I think they came to find that his wish was to eventually, for the cosplay character that he would do, would be eventually made into a skin in the game. So I think they finally got that done in Call of Duty. I think. I have to double check.
Do you think so? I mean, is that something that you think?
I think that was something that was finalized. I know that it was submitted like, "Hey, yo," as a wish for this guy. Now that he's no longer with us, let's go ahead and fulfill his wish to be used as a playable skin in the game.
Oh, true.
And
yeah,
so
I
think they ended up fulfilling that. But the point is, though, he's in a game, he's playing a game, he's cosplaying, he's getting joy out of the experience he's having with this game. But I think it was two people just couldn't stand that, and so the ramping up of the toxicity toward him ends up having these repercussions that gets to the point where someone is doing that to themselves. And I don't know, like you were referring to as well, Maniac, I don't know if there is a solution that can be had, because people are going to be people, and I'd hate to have it as such a swept under the rug kind of approach, like, oh well, that's just how it is, whatever, everything. But it always seems like there's something that can minimize it. I just don't know what it
I think they should have monitors in there, like moderators, just to like, well, then what the hell are they doing? There's the problem. They're not doing their job.
Well, it's like,
I mean, if you see something, say something, that goes online too,
Yeah. Here's the thing too. I think it's human nature to want to watch a train wreck. We watch all these TikTok videos of people terrorizing these kids. They're screaming on their hot mics saying, "Don't kill me, don't kill me, no." And they're screaming, and these videos get so much attention when there's other videos out there on TikTok where guys are like, "Hey man, you want to join up and I will take you to the end." And the kid's like, "I've never won first before." And the guy's like, "Oh, I'll take you there. And if we don't make it this round, we'll keep going until we do."
That's awesome.
So he stays with them until finally they get first. And it's just those type of videos that we should be giving the love, the hearts, the attention to. But instead we're focusing on the really funny hot mics of these kids screaming their heads off.
Yeah,
the only person that doesn't... Go ahead.
No, I was saying, they don't get the eyes.
The only person that doesn't know this is Maniac, but I'm all about spirituality and doing the, putting more positive into the world than you do negative. And I think at the end of the day, as long as you're putting more positive in than negative, then you're headed to a good spot, interdimensionally, whatever you want to call it. I think that people fuck up religion. We had a whole episode on that. My relationship with my deity is a perfect relationship. But when you've got fucking hell, dude, I just forgot where I was.
You were talking about how you want goodness put in the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So whenever you're doing those good things, you can be a nice person online, and it's not only going to uplift the people that you're being positive to, but other people are going to witness that, because we love to watch things. I mean, hello TikTok, hello Reels, YouTube, whatever. So if the more good that we can put out there, then we're going to be suffocating the bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, but so I'm listening to Calamity and Maniac as well, and I'm feeling like there's that detachment that goes on to where, okay, now I get to all my intrusive thoughts I can act out in a game, and there's no repercussions in regards to reality or what I have to do.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of negative mentality do you have to think that is something that you want to do and that that's okay? I mean, there's some fucking trauma in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the therapeutic part. I was saying that sometimes gaming will have is like somebody wants to act out something, so they figure it's better to do it in a game than in reality. But the weird part about it is when you have other people playing the players in that game, then essentially, yeah, you are doing it to people. You're just acting it out via this proxy that you kind of feel like it's you're acting out it via this proxy under the guise of it's not really me. I'm not really the orc, but I am, burning this person, or I am doing these things in order to just get that out of my own system of wanting to do it, and I don't want to do it to real people.
They don't have like murder video games, do they? Where you have to hunt people and murder them?
Actually, there is one out there.
Yeah,
there is really.
Yeah,
Dying Light or something like that, where you're either a serial killer or one of the victims trying to escape.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
What's the limit? What's the limit? Where that you can't sexually assault somebody on a video game? I mean,
no, they got that too. They got that too.
Honestly, if you think about it, you can do it in a video game or another. They might not be all in the same one.
Oh my God.
There's some dark shit out there if you segment.
That's terrible.
So now that we've
is it too much to ask for a bait baby?
No, can't really have a bait baby video game.
No, that's inappropriate.
Yeah. So
really?
now that we've opened your eyes to the dark side of it, let's keep going darker. So here's the interesting thing, and I want to get both of you all's perspective on it. I really don't have one. I mean, I have guesses, but I really don't have a definitive one. It kind of touches on the evolution of gaming, with AI being how fucking ramped up it's getting, and it's becoming more and more integrated in a lot of different things that we interact with. I cannot see it not being a part of gaming, if not already more so than now. And so and I'd like to know from both of you, what are your takes on an increased presence of AI, good, bad, indifferent, what? Calamity, go, because I'm not going to have you say, go ahead, Maniac. You go first.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a broad question. So when I think back to my gaming days when I was heavily into Division, I mean, it's AI that you're playing against. If you're not playing PvP, that's what's happening.
Right.
As it evolves, they become more intelligent and they are more reactive to you. They're not just on this loop. And so it becomes more and more challenging that you can't just play the script each time you get on to play.
That's a good point.
So it makes it more interesting for sure because it keeps it fresh. But I think it's inherently dangerous as we're learning with AI in the real world. So I'm interested to see where it goes. It is kind of terrifying to think where it might go.
What's the worst that you think could happen? I mean, anything. Just you can say the world to blow up. I don't know.
Nah.
I was going to say you've watched the Terminator movies, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That or Westworld. I mean,
my mind is too pure.
Yeah, it is. You got to get into gaming. That'll set it right.
No, I don't need that trauma. Thank you.
For me, the worst part is when like I get like to your point. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying with the calamities. Like I've played with the first person shooters and whatnot, or ran other things where it'll say on screen, run it with AI or whatnot. I think that AI then and AI now is one's lowercase AI and the other one's uppercase AI. I feel like it will get worse when it is outside of an NPC level. And so AI in games right now, we automatically think NPCs or, okay, those are the bots that I'm killing. And they're going to be guarding this base. And they're going to be in so many positions and they may react a little bit differently last time based on the experience it captured from me before. But when we get out of that mode of thinking and then it becomes a thing of where now will we be able to tell if some of these PCs are really AIs because they want to keep the game looking as populated as possible?
Yes, and we are seeing that happen more and more.
Yeah. That's part.
Kind of so you could have a total shit game. And like a few people could log on and you could just start spamming them with bots. And you're thinking, this place is kicking.
Well, more so so like I'll put it in perspective of mine. The Elder Scrolls Online, I'll go to a town, has the typical banks, shops, and crafting stations and stuff like that. And depending on what update of the game, you can tell when certain towns become less popular because the more update related quests are located around certain towns, and so the population will go down in other towns, which to me I'm cool with because I don't have to swim through all the people, and I can just go and get do what I need to do without having this congested feeling. But if you're trying to sell your game, if you're trying to promote commercialism outside of the game and inside the game, you kind of want to have a certain base level of population in each game. NPCs can only do so much. So if you start having players that are really AI, it makes it look like the towns are always full with both NPCs and players.
Right.
And so that's the thought that comes to mind for me in regards to that level. And I was wondering, what the two of you had in regards to your feelings in relation to AI, and do you have certain thoughts as well as like what it could become beyond what we're experiencing?
Just to talk about positivity, I think that it could add a definite level of realism that we don't have now. Mm-hmm. Like with the bots that you're talking about, if AI were to be more interactive, be more realistic, mm-hmm. It could profoundly change the interactivity of the game that we are trying to immerse ourselves in. Mm-hmm. What is to come could be very, I don't know what a good word to say, but could be very invasive to players. If we think about, our phones listening to us, or if we're doing certain things in a game and it associates that with our real name and with who we are, I mean, it's data gathering, right? And so that is invasive. Right. And so that does bother me.
Yeah, because thought gathering is now this new thing. It's they're trying to pass bills in order to make our thoughts illegal for mining and whatnot. And it's kind of interesting that that's happening.
Mr. Robot.
Well,
Mr. Robot.
Because to that, yeah, but then also to what Calamity's saying is like, okay, if you start making friends in the game, you have conversations that are game related and non-game related. So if that friend that you have turns out to be an AI, it's really just collecting your thoughts about what to do, how you like the game, your gameplay. What do you want to do? Oh, I want to.
It could also be used for propaganda.
Well, and so that's the part that I'm saying. It's kind of a little bit of scary / leery / because it can lead to so many different things.
It's a little sus.
Yeah, it's a little that can go to a fuckload of a lot sus real quick because we really can't keep up with AI as much as we think we can.
Have either of you heard anything about stuff like that going on, or does that happen?
I can't say I've experienced anything like that. Personally, I'm very cautious when it comes to AI because if used in the right way, it can be a very valuable asset and tool. But it doesn't take much, and humans are great at this, of taking something that was designed for positive and really using it to fuck everything up.
Yeah, and have no plan on how to restoring it either. We will fuck things up and be like, okay, well, so the rainforest is gone. But
we're sorry.
But let's plant more. We'll plant more. In about 100 years, it'll be the way it was before.
But they're going to plant the Amazon in the Sahara Desert.
Right. We'll do it in a place.
Yo, just calm down. We got time. Okay, we got time.
Yeah, it's a very, it's a very touchy thing because it could be so good and so bad so easily, and sometimes it's hard to know if the bad is running in the background and behind the curtain of the good. I think though gaming is a thing that people test out a lot of new technology and people don't really click onto it, no pun, until it's too late, until they're like, oh yeah, that is integrated into the grocery store now. The term gamification came up a while back, but it was sort of implying that, hey, we took these aspects from gaming and put them into more mundane things to make it interesting for people. And so it's sort of like a test bed that they can see how can we glean something from this or that and the other and put it into the generic use, to tap into a demographic that we haven't before.
That's innovating, but terrifying.
It can be.
Just to take it very simply from Jurassic Park, I think it was Malcolm that said something about your scientists were so busy whether or not they didn't stop to think about whether they should. Something like that was what he said.
Yeah,
I think we're processes like that all the time, and AI is one of them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because it's one of those moments where you're like, okay, so how do we shut this off? Oh, well, we never really thought about how to shut it off because we always thought it was just.
Well, and now it won't allow you to shut it off.
Yeah, well, there's that too. There's that aspect of
Robot uprising.
There's that aspect of possibility as well. It's like if you base AI as a villain in your game, and everyone's playing against it, and they ask like, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna win," and there's no way to really stop certain things about if it's determined enough. This is just an interesting thing to throw out there and see about. But what else about gaming? What do you all feel like the evolution of gaming is? I feel like gaming has mimicked itself so many times in so many ways. Loot colors are ubiquitous throughout all types of games. You have these same quests or campaign kind of incentives to continue in different parts of gaming. What are the two of you's take on and or hopes of the evolution of gaming?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
See, he's got some hard hitters, and mine are more fluffy questions. I've got fluffy questions.
Like, say, for instance, we've got the headsets that that people just keep crashing into walls every time they use. I really don't know if that's going to be something that is. I've seen now where platforms have come into place, where it's almost like
I see the VR headsets as a next step into something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was that? The movie there with Gerard Butler, Gamer,
Mm-hmm.
where you're in a room and it's kind of controlled, but you don't have the VR headset. You've got like the gauntlets and some other stuff, and it picks
Right.
up this. Or Ready Player One, where you got the bodysuit on and you're in the virtual
I loved
reality.
that movie.
Mm-hmm. So see,
I can honestly see within the next 10, 20, maybe 30 years that we're at a technology level where that is something that is feasible.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
even
they got
in
the
a
parts.
because I mean, just think where we were 30 years ago. Like I said, my parents' first computer only
Right.
ran DOS, had a few
Right.
megabytes and 6-inch floppies, and now here we are with high definition, massive flat screen TVs or VR headsets, and these gaming consoles that have more computing power than what threw the first rockets in space and landed a man on the moon. Like and that's in 30 years. Where are we going to be 30 years from now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with it.
Clam.
And I think with Web3 development coming forward, I think we're going to be able to see more income streaming into the gaming industry and maybe more opportunities for people to start making more of a platform for making money.
Yeah.
I think
What is that you just said? That
that's
whatever
what I'm
you.
getting. We should get into that next.
What's 3? Is it 3D or?
Web3 technology? So it's just the building off of what our. I'm trying to think of an easy way to say it. It's
Dumb it down, girl. I was
trying to
saying.
think how to say it really easily. So, my brain is not functioning to
It's more
explain
like
it.
interactive
Well.
e-commerce and whatnot as well, a little bit.
What do you know about it? Do you know anything about it?
Not
sorry,
enough to give
Maniac.
a solid answer on it, to be honest.
Shit, I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's fine. I'll make the magic. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think.
What about you?
No, I think that there's the thing of where we have a means of doing it. You have it to where you can put crypto in now. You can do things where people are actually able to make a living within the gaming. Now,
What the fuck
Because
was
it's
that?
centralized. It's not part of mainstream currency.
right.
So there's not a big man controlling it. And taxation, we're trying to keep it decentralized so people have control of it, not big banks,
Right.
not big companies.
And so you're saying you're seeing a lot of potential and evolution of gaming where that is more integrated and people are able to leverage that to get another source, if not their truest full source of income, almost like how some people crack the code in regards to YouTube and it's like, hey, I can do this for a living if I really leverage things correctly with sponsors and products and content. The same thing in its own right could be done with gaming.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's creating new economies, basically.
Yeah, because what was that one game? I'm trying to remember what it is, and it had its own crypto, and you were just like, if that was your thing, you could build up a fuckload of crypto in this game.
Y'all are blowing my fucking mind here. I had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah. So okay, wait.
People that will grind in games to get elite stuff and then sell it on eBay.
Yes, that's what I was going to break it down. Yeah.
It's so rare to find.
Yeah.
That they go, oh, I got this ultra whatever skin for whatever it is, and because I'm only the second person in the world to ever achieve this. Right. I want $65,000.
Right.
And there's some guy that goes, fuck yeah, here's my credit card.
Absolutely.
Now I've got it, and it only cost me $65,000 instead of several hundred hours or thousands of hours of grinding.
Oh my God. What is wrong with people?
So here we go, Dinosaur. Well, I'll break it down to you in my best description for it, and then Maniac and Calamity chime in when you want. Okay, so you used to be able to make money in gaming. Like, I'll break it down. Like, say, for instance, back when I was doing World of Warcraft, you used to be able to make money. Like, if say you were playing, and you're like, okay, I got to do shit, like go to work in real life, but I really want to keep. Okay, I'm gonna get with this dude here. He clearly pays, and I'm like, yeah, I'll play your character for you, or I'll grind shit for you
Oh,
for
when you got shit to do.
for $25 an hour or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And you're like, okay, cool. So when I get back, you'll have, yeah, and I might come up with something stupid. I guarantee 25,000 bushels of hay for you by the time you're like, great, because I'm needing hay. And then you go to work. I got bushels of hay. You might be dumb enough. You might be dumb enough to give me access to your character because maybe that's how the game has to be played. You can't transfer it or whatever because it bonds to your character or whatever. So you don't even care. Yeah, you don't care. Boom, you come back from work. There it is, 25,000 bushels of hay, and you paid me for it. Now,
And your unicorn.
If I take that and go to 10 other players and just keep that going, and then they spread the word, and I keep going, and for some reason, somehow, I still have time to be able to do that, I'm kind of sort of building my own means of a living, especially if I live. Well, especially if I live in a country where you get a buck ton for the US dollar versus their currency. So fast forward that type of gaming enterprise, you could do that with, like what Maniac was saying, you could do that with just gear in games, builds, color scheme, stuff that, like in World of Warcraft, it was this time lost proto Drake was one of them, and it was true to name. It was a dragon mount that only showed up at a certain time in the entire month or a week, and you had to be in this one location, and if you weren't there when that came through, you missed it, and you're just sitting around for another week or another month. And that's why they called it the time loss, because you just lost time just sitting out waiting to get a glimpse of this thing to try and capture it. Well, you have people that would say, I'll do that for you. And, pay me $500, pay me $1,000 for whatever, and I'll get it. And like Maniac was saying, people would pay, and you would, eventually get this without putting in the work. So
I bet the fraud on that would be pretty high. Like people just taking other people's money and deucing out.
Yeah, and
but
then
there were actual businesses. Like there would be an office building somewhere in Southeast Asia with everybody in a cubicle, and that's what they did. They got paid to do it.
Right. Because then you would have somebody entrepreneurially looking at it like, okay, I just did this for 10 people. If I can get another person to come in and work with me and do this for 10 people and then just keep multiplying that, now you got like an office space full of people doing the same thing for $25, $50, whatever, $100, whatever, for 500 fish or 25,000 bushels of hay, whatever their request is, and they're paying for your time. And so to Calamity's point,
that's true, but good for those people for having that amount of money to be able just to be like, yeah, here's 50 grand, go, win this, whatever.
That's the mentality of a certain gamer. But to Calamity's point, now when you get it to where you can just start diversifying it with crypto, it becomes a whole nother economic structure because it's all decentralized, and it's like the limits are they're still being defined.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
No,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I was looking at it for, like, I forget what the game is. It's infinity something. It's kicked off really playing well in Indonesia, but it's got its own cryptocurrency. People trade out, in regards to relation to Bitcoin or other currencies that they want to. But that's like how people are making money, and that's their job, basically. That's their income. So from your perspective, Calamity, you're seeing like there's the possibility for a lot more of that to be developed in games.
Yeah, I think that we're just seeing just the very beginnings of this decentralization platform, really making it more accessible for people that maybe wouldn't have opportunities otherwise. We're just at the very beginning of it.
Right. And so you're seeing like maybe games developing their own, for lack of a better term, for making their own coin, making their own currency level, kind of like how games already have, how they already have trading exchanges and stuff like that for gear. Basically, they would be doing that as well with their own currency, cryptocurrency that can be used to do other things like get groceries or get other levels of entertainment, which also breaks off into different sponsorships that gaming companies can insert in their game. You know, hey, get this Target discount when you play up to this level and exchange out your coins accordingly. Something to that level, or am I gassing it too much?
I think that's a great direction to go into, but I think that there's also inherent risk with that because there's such volatility in crypto that well, that could be a really great deal for me right now, but tomorrow that coin could crash. Like we look at Sheeb or Doge, you know, those meme coins were a joke, but now they've become so popular that they're starting to gain some traction. Who knows if they'll continue in that direction or not? So to come up with your own crypto for a game, just to invent it and slap it out there, it could be a huge risk.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of them that are doing that, especially the ones that I'm talking about that I've seen popping up in Indonesia and whatnot. They're all based on more stronger crypto. Like Ethereum would be one that is what that coin or that currency is based on. So it's kind of sort of relying on how well Ethereum is doing. And if ETH is doing great, then this coin is stable. You know, all the coins that are associated with it are stable as well. So
Maniac, do you like crypto?
I've never used it. I think for a while there I was helping my brother mine some for Bitcoin. I think that, again, it's a time and a place for it. Personally, at this point in my life, I don't foresee me using it. Just because I don't fully understand it, so I don't want to put any money into it.
That's how I am.
If I sat down and did one of my deep dive research things and came out a week later and went, okay, I know more about this, I feel comfortable about it, I'll get some, or I've done my research and hell no.
Calam knows it. She's learned a lot about it. I don't do the math. You know, I don't have the vision and I don't do math. So trying to maneuver through the US dollar for me sometimes is hard, especially because
at this point I have a hard time even trusting the dollar that my government issues.
Hello, thank you. Right,
and all of that. It's sitting there going, what I was making a year ago, I've only got 3/4 of the spending power today because of it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I mean, but then conversely, I think that's why a lot of people are looking at the use of it, because it's sort of a different value type that they can go across into different countries without it. You know, hey, my dollar's this much here, and then my dollar's that much there.
You think it has legs? Like it would take off? You think that's where we're headed?
I mean, it's interesting.
Are almost an electric version of gold and silver bullion in that sense. Because it's transferable. Each country looks at it a different way, where a lot of places don't like you bringing in X number of ounces or any more than a certain amount of gold or silver. You start getting pulled over by security and you're getting free colonoscopies.
Right, right.
Hey.
Yeah, they're big in China. Trust. I've seen it. I've not had it. I've seen it. Not had it.
Legit? You've seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have not.
Um,
Did you try to use your dad as a mule? Come on, be
I'm just
honest.
gonna say they like to use the hand and the wand at the same time.
Yeah,
At
double
least they're
penetration.
thorough.
Yeah, they are thorough. That's the fallback. That's the fallback. Hey, we're being thorough. Nope. Stop
Well,
moving.
hopefully over there that someone dainty hands, because you don't want somebody with
No.
sausage fingers and chestnut knuckles.
No
Some
way,
corn
man.
fed.
Afterwards.
No way. The only thing that's dainty are the sounds that are coming out of your mouth when they're doing all that thoroughness. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? If you know what's going to happen, make it uncomfortable then. Just
Right.
like hyper daddy, deeper, something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Push
Wow.
back.
While farting. Yeah. So to answer, I guess, relate more to your question, Dinosaur, I think that when you look at countries like El Salvador and others that are using Bitcoin as a legit currency, it becomes a thing where it's like, okay, if I get Bitcoin and I can have Bitcoin in the U.S. and when I go to El Salvador, I can just use my Bitcoin wallet and pay for a fuckload of shit without having to worry about how much of a exchange
rate, blah, blah,
it's going to be. You start to look at those different things and you get communities based on it. I think, though, from a gaming aspect, it would be interesting to see how those two ecosystems can merge, because within gaming you're in the game. I'm not looking at, if I'm in Elder Scrolls Online, how can I translate what currency or what amount I have in that to my Call of Duty account?
It wouldn't. It would just be like kind of credits for this one game. Just people, like on Candy Crush or whatever, they buy hints or whatever the fuck they can offer.
But that's the deeper evolution that I'm talking about. Then it becomes a thing of where if you could find those bridges and you get the sponsorships and stuff like that, if you have a company that's putting out different games like that, then it's easier for them to do because it's all under the umbrella of that one game. And so you could probably have some crossovers to that degree. But I feel like some games are already touching on that. They're just not to what, maybe a degree like what you're talking about, Calamity, because it's just not there yet. But I think they are testing it. I can only speak, like I said, my game that I play exclusively at this point is Elder Scrolls Online, and I know that you can buy their crowns. They call them crowns, you said you play Elder Scrolls as well, MANIAC. And so you can get crowns in there, and essentially, thinking of it from the way you're talking about, Calamity, it's kind of like, well, it's not even kind of like, it's their currency. You can buy special mounts, you can buy special mods and gear with their crowns. And if you need, you're short. Oh, you're short? Okay, well, just transfer some more funds from your bank account to buy more of our currency, these crowns, and shop away. And so I think from looking at the direction you're talking about, it's kind of like the groundwork is already there in some games. They just haven't gone to the level that they could, like what you're referring to. Are they leaning that way? I would think highly likely.
Yeah, I think something interesting too to think about is that in some countries it's really hard, if not impossible, to get a bank account. With crypto, it's really easy to open up a wallet, and then you have instant access to your money, whereas some countries you have to have credit history, you have to have all these things in place in order to get a bank account. And the wallet, you just can put money in there and grow your funds.
Yeah, you skip all of that.
Do you think that crypto will ever start offering, or like some of the companies will ever start offering loan programs? Because like right now, if we needed a loan, we would go to a bank and they would look at our history and whatever. And because we use the US dollar and bank accounts and blah, blah, blah. But if it were crypto, they would look at your history as you're using crypto and what you're doing with it. And then use that as a way to get funds or funding.
I don't know if that's feasible with crypto
Yeah.
because there's generally no central spot for it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Um,
not presenting any collateral to get the loan other
Mm-hmm.
than the, okay, yeah, I'll repay you. And then if you just, well, with your Bitcoin wallet, say, for example, you borrowed money, you cashed out all your Bitcoin, well, just start up a new wallet somewhere on a different PC and they
oh,
can't find you.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Right.
right. I didn't think about that,
Yeah. I mean, the
which is
only
kind of ridiculous, but sorry.
the only way I
Well,
could go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, because the bonus with the Bitcoin is, A, it's transferable across the world, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also the level of anonymity with it, which
Mm-hmm.
goes against being able to borrow.
Right. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's certain things about crypto that you could do. Like if you get business accounts, you have to list all of your actual business information, your IENs and something like that. So to your question, Dinosaur, maybe something like that avenue would open up towards a business, but on a personal level, like what Maniac's saying, is a lot of anonymity to it. So, who kind of, I'm saying who I am, but am I really who I am? Whereas with a business, you have to list
Right.
a registered EIN or TIN number. Is it possible? I think it could be possible if a bank is what's backing the if a digital bank is backing the currency use and development, because then they can, with their transactions of funds, they can leverage loans based off of that. Are we there yet? Probably not, because like what Calamity and Maniac has already said, it's just so volatile. I mean, you could wake up the next day and your $50,000 in Bitcoin is now 45 or 40, and you're like, fuck. So that loan that you wanted or that value that you had overnight goes down and you haven't spent shit. It's just
How long did it take you, Kalam, to fully wrap your head around that?
Oh, I haven't fully wrapped it around it yet. I'm still learning all the time.
Fair.
Mhm.
There is a program called uHolder. It's a platform that lets people who own cryptocurrency borrow money quickly,
Mm.
but you have to keep it under 90% of your crypto that you have. It's like you deposit as collateral, so they hold it
Mhm.
until you pay back. So if you default, then if that crypto goes up, obviously they're going to keep that.
Right.
It's a pretty, I would think it's a volatile way to to do loans, but to be fair, I mean, it could be very profitable for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I think to your point earlier, if we're looking at a ways for opening up possibilities for people that can't get that elsewhere, it could be something that is explored. And all of us have guessing, just throwing darts up on the wall. Okay, what are the percentages? How would it work? I don't know. I For me, I think the avenues of getting people to start developing or gaining some income or churning some currency or something like that is always going to be looked at. And so for that, I think gaming is a highly viable possibility. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that Pokemon Go was everywhere.
People were dying in the streets trying to get whatever.
But
They'd run out into traffic.
Natural selection at its
yeah,
finest.
Right.
but the big thing that also showed was, hey, everybody used Google Maps enough, so now we can commercialize the fuck out of it and put some e-commerce in there, and now we got people going to stores looking for basically an imaginary creature they're going to collect, but we now have people populating a location. Let's give them drinks, or let's promote this, that, or the other. They have to get this, and by that they get a card that gives them a special Pokemon that if they have a meal here, or if they buy enough shirts. And so people started realizing there's means of leveraging that game as well. kind of sort of why it kind of started dropping off, because people started either getting accepted into places that they didn't really want to go, or they started getting rejected and told, hey, get the fuck out of our store, because we don't want people in here just standing around catching imaginary shit. We want people buying things. But,
Crack is bad, guys. Crack is definitely bad. Okay, listen up, kids.
Flip that around. If they could find a way to make that more of a positive appeal for commerce, you have the potential for getting that type of game to be a thing where people are doing that interaction with some sort of transaction happening, whether it's digital or physical. So, last question.
Well, no, then I have one.
You got one? Then you go.
Yep, go ahead.
There you go.
Okay. So let's talk about, and I've had some conversations with Calam about this recently. I feel that there is a difference between a sweat and someone being toxic. You don't have to be toxic to be a sweat. You can just be super good.
The two do not.
Do I not know the lingo for super good?
The two do not what, Maniac?
Well, I was just saying that they don't necessarily go together. Someone being toxic, that is their personality trait. Whereas if someone's sweaty, it's either, i.e., they've spent way too much time on the game and they're really good, or I've termed it now, I'm probably not the only one, paid to play.
Okay, right.
Win. So in that case, I look at it as someone that has bought like a Corona system or something else that have. It's basically they're just excessively cheating, and they go, "Look at my accomplishments." No, something else won that for you.
Right.
Okay. Would you consider yourself or Calam a sweat because
no.
of your level?
I'm consistently impressed by Calam.
Are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm laughing.
No, I thought
when Calamity and I are playing Vigor, like I said, I've been gaming for a very long time, but with this game, my hat is off to Calamity. She is a better player in pretty much every aspect of it. She's a little more aggressive than I am. I've come out of my shell in this game a lot, but she's consistently outperforming me. And I consider myself very lucky to be her friend and her teammate in this game.
Oh,
GECKO, come on now. You're really good. Nice. I just get lucky sometimes.
I'm not bad. You're damn good.
She's very humble.
So wait, Calamity, is that the difference? Because Maniac, you were touching on the difference. There's a difference between the two. Would you say then that is that's an aspect of the difference right there, where Calamity is like, look, I just get lucky sometimes. That's more of a defining characteristic that you don't find in someone that's toxic.
I hope I'm not toxic.
Yeah, but also with that,
toxic's a personality trait. That's someone that is incredibly negative. They're down-putting. That's a human being I don't want to be near because
right.
Yes, sir.
I've only got X bit of time in this world. I don't want to be stuck beside some negative Nancy asshole that's everybody down. Like, go find your corner.
Right.
Go curl up in that, and leave all the happy people alone.
Right. That's a personality trait, like you're saying. So it's highly likely that this is how they are outside of the game. So this is just them coming in a game and being exactly the type of person that they are. Whereas a sweat or a sweaty person, I have to admit, I'm new to that term. They are just super abundantly good. I think though that when you have humility to it and you're like, hey, I'm just lucky, it kind of gives a different.
Maybe you're not sweaty. Maybe you're just a little moist. Maybe.
Yeah. You're glistening. You are glistening.
Glisten.
You're very glistening. I think though that's very great though, because that gives that room for that person that they still have means and room to improve, or they just don't see them, so they don't have that cockiness that comes into play. Okay, guys, I'm about to carry the team. Watch out, give me some room. Just go do these moves.
Right. I'll just sit down.
Go
I'll be right back.
them running through this field, and I'll shoot everyone. it's interesting though when you have somebody that just realizes, hey, I happen to be the one on top this time. When you have that mentality, it makes the community, the gameplay, and the level of enjoyment, and just so much better.
Okay, so
another thing with that is like there's some clan tags and gamer tags that we look for when we're going into a match, and we're like, oh shit, it's this guy or it's that group. And we're like, because they're not going to send us a message that's a toxic thing, but we don't know that we're being hunted. And there's times like where we've set up in an ambush position and we're in a jammer, so they can't physically find us. They don't know. And then all of a sudden we're pinging them and like, why are they coming right at us? We're not near anything. It doesn't make any logical sense for these two to come running at us.
Would they be cheating?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm 98% sure on times like that they are running a program like, hey, we can see those people across the map. Let's go shoot them and get our kill death ratio cranked up.
So you connect being sweaty with cheating. I don't. That's the reason why I keep saying that Laura's sweaty, because she's really
Laura's
good.
Not sweaty. Laura's good. There's a difference.
There's a difference.
So it's sweaty versus good.
Sweaty are, like I said, they. How am I going to put this?
But what's the opposite of sweaty? Just good?
Noob. No, it's
no.
Sweaty. They're putting way too much effort into it. They're putting too much. Like I said, I feel like they've paid to play to win.
Pomp and circumstance, like it's about the show.
Yeah, like I said, they're the ones that are trying to crank the numbers up. So when you see like this week and the person who's top for kill death ratios, and they've got like 48 kills to every 1 death, and I'm sitting there going, on a good day, I've got like a 2 kill to 1 death ratio.
Right. It doesn't, like the math doesn't add up.
Yeah, or the statistics on like, because in the game, one of the things when, like, if you've been killed somebody, it'll show the other person's gamer score compared to yours on how many kills they've had, how many airdrops they've pulled, and how many headshots. And I mean, I've got like well under 400 kills, but I have like 60 something headshots. So I'm at like a 1-to-8, 1-to-7 ratio for every kill being a headshot. And I see people that are pulling in a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm like, statistically speaking, and I'm not a great mathematician by any means. I'm the son of an accountant, so I'd like to think that might help sometimes.
Oh, wow.
But I'm looking at the odds on this one, and I'm like, why are those so skewed?
Right.
And I'm like, these numbers just aren't adding up.
You're like, how though? How?
Yeah. I'm like, yes, there are fluke chances, but
all the
overall, the odds on if you bought a lottery ticket with those odds, okay, but nobody, like, it's there's going to be a very, very small percentage of gamers that are that naturally skilled at a game, but I not all of them.
Yeah, I forget what game I was playing, and it was a first person shooter also, and some of those same things that you were saying just. It was like, okay, I know, like you go 8 games straight. And it's like, okay, how are you, were we playing against that many people? How did you just get that many kills and you only died once? So, okay, John McClane, how did that work? Because you're out there outperforming everyone. You're on a team of 8 and you're outperforming 7 other people that are also shooting just as well or just as much, as to say, in the same direction at the same enemies, but you are downing a lot more. How?
Yeah. Like there's an Elim we played that was just a couple of days ago, I think it was, and the lead scorer on the other team of 5 had like, was it 19 kills or something? And the next person on his team had 9, and the next one had 8, and the other 2 guys had nothing. So this one guy got more kills than the rest of his team put together.
Right. Yeah. So I can
And I'm
That's
like,
miraculous.
yeah.
well, but
And
that all being said, I can definitely understand now the definition of sweaty. Yeah, I've experienced it. I just never really used the term sweaty, but yeah, it does apply very well.
yeah.
Okay, so it kind of has a little negative connotation.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
It is
I
not.
apologize for saying that you're sweaty.
that's
Yeah.
okay. I knew it was coming from
You're
a
just
different
moist, so that's fine.
He's taking back the sweaty, but keeping the moist.
Oh, but what kind of podcast is this again? No.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a mature one. Follow the disclaimer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, man. Okay. On an out. One. Thanks again for both of you all joining. Really appreciate it, and I know it takes up
Really.
a lot of your time. So I just love the fact that you guys got on at the whim of an idea we had from the last episode. It's like, that'd be cool if we have gamers. Like, yeah, let's give it a go. All right, awesome. Yeah. We're
All interviews are that easy.
yeah.
Well, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
I've been enjoying this.
We are
Yeah, we'll have to do it again.
we're dumb enough new that we feel like, yeah, if we ask people, they'll just come on. Yeah, we surely will. Absolutely.
Right.
Why wouldn't they?
Like, yeah, Oprah's coming on.
Why
You know, I
wouldn't
mean,
they?
I called her.
And then when you listen to the rest of the cons, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see why they would. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's cool. It's
They're
cool.
delusional. That's
It's
the
cool.
thing. Okay.
We coined a term, bait babies. Yeah, I get it. They won't want to come on.
That was what it was.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was, really. That truly
It was
was what it
disgusting.
was. So, Ender question. And, you know, maybe, hopefully we can figure out a part 2 to all of this, because I'd love to dive even deeper.
I want to dive deeper into AI.
What would be the thing that you would like to see next in gaming?
Good one.
Oh.
Like, you know, either gameplay, interactivity. I mean, I touched on a couple of things where I think gaming is a little bit, it's needing a revitalization, because I think white, green, blue, purple, orange gear is in every game now. You know, okay, can we do
But
something?
that's also a level of consistency that everybody can appreciate, because
Right.
they know, oh, that's orange, that's heroic level, or
Yeah.
whatever the game has to call it.
Right. Yeah. Because there's certain things it's certain things I want to see, but at the same time, it's like, okay, no, you got to keep, like you were just commenting on, there's things you got to keep, because it's sort of at a point now where that's the type of communication in games that articulates a level of what people would aspire to get and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah. What would you like to see?
Yeah, I was going to say,
that?
I'm curious to know.
Yeah, what would you like to see the next in gaming?
Very good question.
He's got some hard questions today.
Yeah, because that can go a lot of ways. Because I'd like to see a little bit more community involved, instead of like, oh, we're in a clan.
Mm-hmm.
Something so that clan can show something physical in the game. Like, I know, what was it? I've never played, but I think the game's Rust, where a bunch of people can get together, build
Tarnation. Is that the one?
No.
Damn it!
Jesus, but you were committed. You were
and-
really
Red Dead.
doing something like that.
That's it.
Or on the flip side of that, with gaming, the advances in technology.
Mm-hmm.
I know VR is out there. You can get that stationary stand, and it represents you running.
Right.
That's something I'm kind of interested in, but I don't know what games I've got or what where I can move to that, because that's still in its relative infancy
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the gaming stage. Because, yeah, it might have come out a couple of years ago, but no one's really pushed that to be the next thing.
Right.
And maybe getting a gaming console to do that, to incorporate. I know, like, Microsoft a while ago did the Kinect for the Xbox, and I bought a couple of games for it, but I ended up not using it. I just used the controller for those games.
Okay.
So something that is a little more user friendly with the VR system
Mm-hmm.
might be, and lowering the prohibitive cost point on some of the stuff.
Right.
I've had to
fair.
postpone getting the newest gen, the Xbox One. No, not the one. The Series X is what I'd like to get. I'm still running a one, so everybody else is already in the lobby waiting for me. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm the fat kid that's had too much cake. I'm a little winded. Hold on.
Come on, Gecko, we're waiting.
Aw.
I'm so lost.
Somebody set up a GoFundMe.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the problem is other bills have gotten in the way. It's
Oh, well,
something
sure.
that by the summer I should be able to get that up and running, but I'm
We're
always
going to set up a GoFundMe for
Yeah,
you.
totally.
I mean, but yeah, to your point though, as technology grows, the thing that happens when technology grows, well, your technology to access that technology has to also grow with it. Otherwise, there's going to be an increasing lag that takes place over time, and then eventually everybody's waiting for you. Yeah, so it's kind of a cycle with that. What about you, Calamity?
So, without revealing too much, the mental health industry, they have made some strides to really include the gaming industry in it. I would like to see some more advancement in that. We have VR where people can meet up in lobbies. You could like go to an art museum, have a client create art as part of their therapeutic process.
Right.
You know, things where they can be interactive, but it's so clunky. It just still feels so fake.
Right.
And to say, well, I'm going to meet you in VR at this park and we're going to sit under a tree. Well, it doesn't really feel
Right.
therapeutic. It feels more cartoony. And so to be able to maybe incorporate a bit more technology into it to make people feel like they're actually able to participate in an actual, I guess, session.
Right.
I think that would be someplace that gaming could go. And there are gaming degrees for counseling that you can get now where you sit down and you play games with clients,
You should do
pretty
that.
cool. But it's kind of clunky games that they're playing with there too. So I just feel like advancement in that area would be really useful.
Cool. Yeah, that would be great. 'Cause like we talked about,
So smart.
like what we talked about early on in the podcast here. There's some therapy that people gain from playing games, whether it's the detachment and getting away from all the stresses that they're going through in real life, and they have it to where they can do whatever they're wanting in the game, or it's just something that they can just zone out and not have those types of pressures. Is it something that can be done with mental health and wellness? I feel absolutely so. It would just have to be something that's tweaked to where that is the main focus, and where somebody's really getting something positive out of it. Obviously there's some lines that shouldn't be crossed. If you have PTSD, maybe certain gaming and maybe some certain gaming environments that touches on those things that you have PTSD from shouldn't be engaged. But I think if, like what you're saying, if you have a person that is in, has a degree and has a specialty in that, they should be able to calibrate that experience that best fits those people.
Yeah, and I think it comes back to the dangers of AI, of what are they gathering, what data are they keeping, how do we make sure people feel safe and they can actually feel like they can share.
Right.
Because there's AI that's being involved in notes, either with your doctor or with other professions, where that information is being recorded live during your visits with your doctor or your therapist, which I have concerns with.
Right.
So AI needs to be limited and needs to be encrypted, and we need to be really safe with people's information. So that's my soapbox. I'll step off of it, but I felt
that's a well received soapbox, because you got AI that's helping doctors figure out what prescription to give you. So then you're like, okay, something's got to give, because that can easily be hacked and mined. HIPAA's there. I was like, okay. Honestly, you think your AI gives a shit about HIPAA?
Leslie, listen, Charles.
Does it give a shit about HIPAA? Probably only to the restrictions that it's applied, but I mean,
Well, HIPAA is a U.S. thing. The internet is global.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
anybody can get your information.
Valid
They don't
point.
give a fuck about HIPAA.
Absolutely valid point. If your AI has been driven by a company in Sweden, does the same rules apply? Don't know. But like I've always told people, if the product you're receiving is free, then that means you're the product, not it. Go back and check out Facebook, and you'll know why it is free and yet still a billion, damn near $1 trillion company. You're the product. So, again, thanks for the two of you to join us. Possibly
Did you have anything else?
Part 2. But yeah, if y'all have anything for an outro, that'd be great. And you know, just give us a what are we up to next? Anything else to say before we peace out?
No.
Okay. Well, I am not a big promoter of self, so I don't know.
Well, you know, just feedback on in general. If we have it again, we'd love to reach out and do a part 2. If you're up for it, we'll see what we're doing with that. What's that?
I hope that GECKO would want to join, and I've reached out to several other gamers, and they have a lot of interest in it. So,
cool.
Not
to do like a panel, yeah.
They were talking about the panel, and I've got several people that didn't want to be involved in the panel. Just wanted to send in some statements and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of interest in it if this goes over in a positive way.
Yeah. So. I'm sure we'll go over in a positive way because we've only been talking about the positive aspects of it, except for that middle part where we're doom and gloom. But whatever, we got to have balance, people. Balance.
If you don't have the dark, you can't appreciate the light.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, there we go.
So with that, we will.
My man's a philosopher.
We will be developing a form that people, based on the interest in doing a part 2 on gaming, would love to do that. If we can get a panel of people, that'd be great. We will be putting a form on the website that people can fill out if they just want to submit questions that we can ask some of the good ones and field it out and ask the panel their aspects of it, you know, their perspectives on some of these questions. And then, you know, just give people that aren't able to join on panel still room to ask things as well.
Express their thoughts and stuff. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. I thought it just dumped on us.
It might have, but you know, it's us. So go figure. But in any case, thanks for the two of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Without further ado, thank you all for listening. Thanks everybody in every country that we named last episode for listening. And if you don't know, she's the dinosaur.
It's me.
And I'm the fucking dude. And we had Calamity Gal and Maniac GECKO on here for a fantastic episode on gaming. We're looking to do part 2, so we'll let you all know when that's coming out as well. Hopefully we can have the two of you back again. Thank you very much, and
thanks for having us.
To all the motherfuckers and fatherfuckers,
lady boys,
love yourself.
Boy. Ooh, yeah.
Love
very hard.
Because we love you. And that's it. We'll check you all later. Thanks for joining us.
So no lotion this time?
They can go without lotion. You know,
okay, all right. Raw dog it. I got you.
Yeah.
Courtesy split, maybe.
I love that the addition of maybe. Was that it? Maybe? It's possible. I mean, their choice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, everyone. And let's do it again. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys.
There.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.